Yeah, hello, my zero waste family. I love each and every one of you. What you guys do is fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad to be here. This is great. This is super, super great. So, hey, I'm going to talk some trash right now, but it's good trash. And you know, I like animals, but I love plants. All right, and plants are the models for reuse, probably because they're the most easily seen to embody the process that all systems go through: the birth, the growth, the maturity, the decline, and eventual decay, and then that truly circular phenomenon where the decayed material becomes the medium for the birth of the new plant. So we live in an industrial society, and our advanced industrial society, we seem to have developed this ability to leave the natural process, to kind of defeat it, to kind of get beyond it. We think maybe we can just keep growing inevitably. We now celebrate a certain kind of disruption that what it does is it takes a mature industry and disrupts it and continues the growth. And so you don't get that feeling that there's this natural decay and this natural recycling and growth from the existing. You just get this constant disruption, the new coming faster and faster all the time. And yet, have we really developed the ability to avoid the natural cycle, which includes decay and includes decline? And I think climate change and plastic pollution signal that decay is inevitable. I mean, I see our civilization as in a point where it's beginning to show signs of its inevitable decline and decay. There is a dystopian aspect to the present. And my attitude towards that is to become the future that I want to see. And I want to share my screen now and show you what I do in order to keep from succumbing to the dystopian present and build in my own backyard, my own front yard, my own home, the future that I believe we all want, the future that is active for our physical bodies, that is healthy for our consumption, that involves the circularity that we inevitably must embrace in order to achieve the future that will be an ideal future with the technology we have, if we are able to embrace the kind of circularity that plants embody. So I started organic gardening and farming in 1974. I've been doing it for 38 years, long before I became the captain that discovered the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I was an urban farmer, and I took over the property that my parents had. So there's a certain continuity there. Those avocados in the foreground are from a tree that's just about as old as I am, in its 70s, and it's still producing tremendous crops. And Captain Charlie's Urban Farm, I'm registered organic. I get inspected by the County Agricultural Commissioner annually. I register as an organic producer annually. I, for the majority of the time, I've been completely food waste and green waste fertilized. That's the bulk of what I do. I'm refining it a little now after 38 years of doing it, but that's basically what it is. And I produce all kinds of stuff, from guavas and chayotes to taro. So there's the key. There's the compost. Now, a lot of times people talk about the fact that certain things can only be composted in industrial compost piles, but actually the main thing that you need to have is a high temperature in the interior part of the pile so that you really decompose. And it's not just microbes, it's the FBI that's in there. The fungus, bacteria, and insects are taking care of business, including the earthworms. See, you need at least a cubic meter of compost to reach high temperatures that will kill pathogens. You see the temperature gauge there on the left, that's at 140 degrees Fahrenheit in that pile. That pile that's on the right where it says, let's do this. That's 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a hot pile. That's killing pathogens. Streptococcus, pneumococcus, it's doing its job. This is how I've remodeled my street in order to be productive. I've followed the city of Long Beach's specifications. I've built my raised beds 18 inches from the curb, 6 feet long, 2 feet high. And I'm able to produce enough food to have a farmer's market every Sunday from 10 to 4 at my home. And I'm pulling in $100 to $200 a week on Sundays for 6 hours from 10 to 4. So I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. And the COVID times, it became something that was important, but essential, because it was a rallying point for people that were sequestered in their homes. They would come out to the, it's for my neighbors, it's for a block. It's for the folks that are within a couple of blocks, and they bring me their compost. I have people bringing me their food waste every Sunday. And I collected that big storm we had. I collected 3,000 gallons of rainwater in a lap pool that I use as a cistern during the winter. And I've collected through just cutting off my downspouts from the roof and putting it into a barrel and then pumping it into the pool. So I just finished using that 3,000 gallons that I collected from that one major storm. Whether we'll have any more rain, I don't know. And then I have a greenhouse where I start seedlings. It's a tempered glass greenhouse. Got a aluminum for the tempered glass panels to be locked into, and I can unscrew it and take it apart if I want to. And then I have solar electricity on the roof, as well as solar hot water. There's the solar hot water panels there behind the cherimoya. That's a cherimoya tree hanging right in front of the solar panels there. I do get a little shade from my crops on the solar hot water, but that's okay with me. And then there's that 70-year-old avocado tree blooming right now. Most of these photos were taken today, this morning, actually, for this presentation. And you can see the solar hot water panels there. Just see what you can do with a small space. Look at that little space. That's right outside the kitchen door. That's just, a few square feet there. I mean, a couple of square, I don't even know if it's 2 square yards. Well, you know what that produces? That produces tremendous bunches of hundreds of bananas. These are just crazy productive bananas right behind the kitchen window there. And that's the shady side of the house, but those bananas grew up to get the sun. They grew up high enough so that they could get sun and produce bananas. And then in the sunny side, you can see how productive that lime tree is that I got there. Very popular with my neighbors. They'll come and pick one for a cocktail in the evening. Just say, okay, I Venmo'd you $1 because I needed a lime, and I just came over and got one. I said, is that okay? And I said, not only is that okay, I encourage that. I want you to come over and pick what you need out of my garden, because I grow a tremendous load of stuff. Delicious, delicious bananas there. Unbelievably good bananas. I grow the taro because potatoes are more difficult. They're more, we don't have a winter that kills bugs in the soil. Our soil bugs are alive all year round, and they like potatoes. So the taro is resistant to attack by bugs. It has a hard outer coating. It makes a really nice potato. It makes a good potato, really great chips, like potato chips. So I grow taro, and also unlike potatoes, the leaves are edible. They make the lau-laus in Hawaii that they bury in the underground oven and make luau leaf with coconut milk. So good. And I grow ginger in the greenhouse. You can see the ginger on the left. And then if you want to put some signs up by your tomato plant there, you can put signs up too and let people know where you're coming from. There's a cauliflower looking pretty good right there. So my position is no increase in urban density without a corresponding increase in urban agriculture. There's a pressure on us right now to take up every square inch of space. The visionaries of the status quo imagine cities with just vertical farms inside of them and everybody packed in, no open space, no wildlife, maybe a few birds nesting in the trees in the apartments. But my goal is to create a community. A couple of places like mine on a block would take care of the food needs for most of the block. I think we've got to support urban agriculture. I started Long Beach Organic to turn vacant lots into community gardens. And that's what we do. We make open space productive for the community. We've got about 10 community gardens right now where people grow their own produce. But I think even in your home, it's just the deal is you've got to be committed to it. You got to do it. You got to learn your own microclimate. You got to do composting. And if you do that, you'll have a vision of the circular economy. You'll have work to do for yourself. You'll have healthy exercise. And you'll be able to see a vision of the future, which doesn't include paying more for the shoes on your avatar in the metaverse than you do for your own boots to work in your garden.